Welcome back to the review space. This is going to be the review for last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, October 10th, 2016. So let's begin right away. Sasha Banks opened up the show. She got the You Deserve a Chance. She's got the title on her shoulders. She gives props to Eddie Guerrero inside the ring, Lita and Trish, some of her inspirational influences basically. She wanted to be just like them when she was younger. She essentially challenged Charlotte to a Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell event, pay-per-view, network special, whatever the hell they call it nowadays. And this is what I expected. I mean, I automatically just assumed it was Hell in a Cell to begin with when they announced the match way back when. But anyway, we got Rusev with Lana interrupting both of Charlotte and Sasha because Charlotte was, she also tried to. She was walking down the aisle, but then Rusev's music played, so it's almost like this disrespectful, like, okay, well, Rusev is here, everybody. Like, fuck Charlotte and fuck all these women, because that's basically what happened. Rusev came in. He said that nobody cared about the women's revolution, and nobody cared about the women. It's like Rusev is the man. There's implication of sexism here, him being just a sexist dude, and I don't really mind that. I mean, I'm saying we've seen so many different types of approach to this. We've seen misogynistic characters in the past. We've seen sexist characters in the past. We've seen brutish characters in the past. Guys who are entitled, guys who act like women are beneath them, basically. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's a bad thing. I think that's a great thing, especially if you're a heel, to get that kind of crowd heat, especially in such a politically correct environment, in such a PC environment where it's not even like women are seen as victims now. Women are seen as these weaklings. Rather, I think that the people got offended. The crowd started booing Rusev because they didn't like that he was dissing this great women's division, these talented women that are actually good inside the ring. I mean, if he dissed other women, if this had been like 6 or 7 years ago or 8 years ago, where it was like divas and women that weren't particularly good in the ring, that would be a lot more, it wouldn't be as offensive. It would be a lot more, it would make a lot more sense, actually, because women back then weren't great wrestlers. They weren't the technical beasts that they used to be, aside from a few people. Charlotte and Sasha, they kicked Rusev to the side. They were pissed off and offended, so for a momentary, brief little union there, they were on the same side against Rusev, and then Rusev looked pissed off. He looked like he was about to step inside the ring, but Roman Reigns came in to basically intimidate off Rusev, and they were basically just, Roman was staring down Rusev. This was pretty much just a way to pop Roman's entrance, as he kind of saved the women. I mean, he sort of saved them from the brutish Rusev. It still didn't really work. People still booed the hell out of him, of course, but I could see what they were trying to do here, and it's almost like I can't even blame them, because Sasha is significantly more well-liked and more respected than Roman Reigns. We get the New Day cutting a promo on Sheamus and Cesaro. They put over Cesaro's positive qualities, said it was good-looking and all that. They called Sheamus hot garbage. So they really played into the quality, the duality and the differences between the two challengers for the tag team titles. That would be Cesaro and Sheamus. Kofi Kingston somehow defeated Cesaro. Kofi got this, he botched a springboard attempt. Looked like he botched it, and he fell from the ropes, and then Sheamus got attacked by New Day. And then this distracted Cesaro. He looked to the outside. Kofi somehow got the small package pinfall. Bayley, she took on a jobber named Cammy Fields, and I like how the jobber, her attire, her clothing is completely generic looking. She doesn't even stand out at all, which is the way it's supposed to be, but it's just like, like, this person is so forgettable. She botches, Bayley rather botched her sunset flip. It looked like she missed it. But she still hit the belly to Bayley and finished off Cammy Fields. She got the win, celebrates up the ramp with the inflatable tube men, which I thought was kind of unusual. I don't think she really does that. She does it at the beginning when she enters. And then this is the reason why she got blindsided from behind by Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke attacks her, and she, that was cool. I like that they're continuing with the storyline. I like that there's going to be a feud, basically, between these two. It's great. We got a quick backstage segment with Jericho talking to somebody on the phone. He said he wanted a payday. R-Truth overheard this. He was basically looking at Jericho to the side, and he offered him a Payday candy bar. Jericho corrected him. I've never even heard of a Payday candy bar. Is that a new brand? I don't keep up with like chocolate bars anymore. I used to review chocolate candies back in the day, like a Hershey bar or something like that. But I've never heard of a Payday before. Maybe it's been around for a long time. Truth walked off. He walked away, but then Jericho didn't say that he didn't want the candy. He's like, I didn't say I didn't want it, you stupid idiot. And the crowd laughed. It was kind of funny. Short segment. Jericho's just a great, valuable on-screen character. He's very entertaining. Lince Dorado and Sin Cara defeated Tony Nese and Drew Gulak in a cruiserweight tag team match. Sin Cara showed some of his aerial maneuvers here. I actually was impressed by Sin Cara here. At this point, I just didn't really care about the cruiserweight division, to be honest. I mean, they still have some cool moves here and there, some high spots that are like awesome, but I just watched last night. I just watched the AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels triple threat from TNA Unbreakable 2005. So this is a match from like 11 years ago. And it was absolutely insane. They had all these amazing high-flying actions, a lot of great aerial moves. I'd watch matches like that on YouTube for free anytime I want. I'd rather just do that instead of watching this cruiserweight division, though. I feel like it's just a useless thing. We get some bullshit in the ring with Mick Foley, Steph, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens. They were basically promoting the hell out of Hell in a Cell. And Jericho was the most over guy in this segment. The fans were totally reacting to him. He's got the list. The crowd was reacting to the list. The list is over. The crowd was cheering him like he was just a fan favorite. Stephanie, she was using a lot of Mick Foley's catchphrases here. She was complete babyface. I mean, it felt almost like she was being real, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, it's like, yeah, she's fucking faking it. You know what I mean? She's a heel at heart. But she's acting like a good guy now. She's one of the good guys. So it's kind of weird. There's no real heel in this segment, honestly. I mean, Kevin Owens, he has a loyal following. They cheer him whenever he pops up anyway. So it's almost like he gets babyface reactions. We got Neville and Sami Zayn in a tag match against Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. They defeated him. So Bo Dallas gets his loss ever since he started winning defeating those jobbers. He didn't look too happy with that, so he walked off. He didn't get pinned. It was Curtis Axel that got pinned. So there's probably going to be some, maybe Bo's going to feud with Curtis. I do remember that Neville and Sami Zayn, they feuded for the NXT title way back in the day, a few years ago. So it's kind of like a reunion between these two, Sami Zayn and Neville. Maybe they should be a tag team, maybe they should, something that they can do and go after the tag titles. It's something. R-Truth defeating Titus O'Neil in a nothing match. The crowd seemed to kind of get into R-Truth's music at the end, but it still didn't really matter, not to me. Braun Strowman destroyed two jobbers, they called them the Splash Brothers. I guess maybe they were based on the athletes or some shit like that, maybe a couple of basketball players, I don't fucking know. Braun Strowman attempted a dropkick, which was commendable. I mean, he tried it. I don't think he really hit it properly. He cut a promo after the match. He said that Foley needs to get him better competition, so I think he cuts a better promo than he does matches, to be honest. He's not bad. He's better than Roman Reigns. Sasha Banks and Roman defeated Rusev and Charlotte in a mixed gender tag match. Every time that Reigns was active in the ring and doing his thing, the crowd was chanting, "We want Sasha! We want Sasha!" They wanted Sasha. They liked her, not Roman. And again, this was a plot to get Roman Reigns over, and the fans reacted positively to Sasha. It kind of worked in the end, like at the final, when Sasha got the submission and Roman hit the spear on the thing across the ring, and that was kind of a cool spot, and I like it. The crowd reacted to it, but at the same time, I don't think the smart mark crowd will ever support Roman Reigns. They're never going to cheer him. The older men, the adults, the adult males, he did his job. I do like Roman Reigns, but it's like this guy's never going to get fully over. He's just going to be like this booed guy. So it's unfortunate, but it's been 2 years, so what are you going to do? Paul Heyman cuts a promo on Bill Goldberg, with Lesnar basically challenging Goldberg to a match at any time, any place. So now we got to wait a response for Goldberg, and apparently Goldberg is going to appear next week on Raw right? To address Paul Heyman's challenge. He's most likely going to accept it. I'm assuming he will. Probably going to face Goldberg, maybe at Survivor Series. I'm hearing Survivor from certain outlets, but maybe WrestleMania as well. That's another possibility. I would expect Brock Lesnar to go over. I just don't see Goldberg winning. I mean, he's been out of action for like 11 years. He does I think he's done a few matches here and there. There's a few appearances he did, but not WWE related in the past, was it 11 years? 12 years, because I think he left in 2004. I am excited to see Goldberg. I expect to see him in WWE television, so that's going to be kind of cool. He was one of the top stars in the late 90s. He was the top star in WCW, and then on WWE, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got another video package for Emelina. She does look extra hot in the pictures, and hopefully she gets pushed far better than she did before. I want to see her repackaged, and I'm salivating over her. She looks sexy. Aria Davari takes on TJ Perks in a predictable win for TJ. These cruiserweight matches, though, I have no interest in them. They become so irrelevant for me, so I pretty much just tune out of the cruiserweight. I probably would. You know what? I don't even want to fucking talk about the cruiserweight division anymore. I just don't care. I don't even want to review them. I just want to edit them out and omit them from these reviews. Seth Rollins defeating Chris Jericho at the main event. Kevin Owens tried to attack Seth after the match. Seth fights him off, and Seth's music plays, and that's how we end the show. And then other pieces of news. This was yesterday's news, but I'm still going to talk about it. Paige. That's right, Paige was suspended. Apparently, she's been suspended for 60 days this time. So this is her second violation of the wellness policy, apparently. So she violated a second time. Wow. I have a feeling she's trying to get fired. That's what I'm trying to fucking get at. I think that's the case. She's trying to get in trouble. She's trying to get that third wellness violation. This is what I'm thinking, because she wants out of the company. I can't imagine that she's happy right now. She doesn't want to stay in WWE, probably, because of the Alberto Del Rio thing. She's with Alberto Del Rio. She was, reportedly with him when he got stabbed. So when ADR got stabbed, and that was a big news too. Supposedly he was also stabbed. He had to cancel a few appearances that he was supposed to make, so he didn't, appear at certain events. My God, these wrestling stabbings are just getting out of hand. You got the JD Noble thing, and then you got ADR, and it's just, this year has been really strange, especially for Alberto. Alberto has such a weird fucking year. He's dating this beautiful diva, very young, much younger than him. So that's a positive. That's a good thing for him. But then he also has all this other bullshit, like he doesn't get fucking pushed. He left the WWE. He came back last year to somewhat of a push. He won the U.S. title from John Cena, and so they kind of gave him that slight nod, and they wanted to give him a bit of a spotlight, but then they put him in that League of Nations thing, and then that never really went anywhere, and he never did much, except he was just in the mid-card, and so he was just unhappy. They were not utilizing him for the main event. He just didn't want to be there, and so and then they took him off. They took him off from that WWE 2K17 commercial too, which I thought was funny. They edited him out in that bar scene, and then they just showed Sheamus. So, I mean, ADR, man, he's had a weird year, ups and downs. He's with Paige, but then it's like he's getting stabbed, and he's not happy with WWE and shit like that. So, I mean, I can see why they ended up together to a certain degree. I can see why they developed this connection, because they're both from wrestling families. Obviously Alberto Del Rio, he's the son of who's his father again? Dos Caras, I think. Dos Caras, because he's like Dos Caras Jr., if I'm not mistaken. Or because now I'm starting to forget all the names. I'm not an expert on Mexican lucha libre names, but I mean his uncle, I think, is Mil Mascaras, so he's related to that that's his family, and so that's a well-known family in Mexico, very well accomplished. And then of course Paige comes from a wrestling family herself. So, and then they both share certain similarities in terms of getting getting depushed and just not getting featured, particularly in the past year. This year, I should say. Like with Paige, she hasn't been, she's voiced her complaints about not being featured on television. Like she's talked about how, I don't think they know what to do with me. They're not pushing me the right way. Some shit, she's talked about this before in interviews, and that's what I heard. I heard that Paige was unhappy with her current situation. She's just not happy with her current state in WWE. Same with ADR. They both come from wrestling families, so there's got to be some kind of like, I get you, you get me kind of deal there. It's like we both share similar experiences. They were both pushed in the past. That both former champions. Alberto, former WWE champion, world champion. Paige, she was the only one to hold the fucking NXT title, NXT Women's title, and the Divas title. So they were both pushed earlier in their career, and then they just kind of faltered off, and their career hasn't been the same since. Well, anyway, so that's it for this particular episode of the Review Space. Thank you for watching. Check out the channel for more WWE related type videos. Subscribe and all that good stuff. And until next time, peace.